Right, hello everybody. Danny, can you hear me?
Yep.
Good. Okay. No, Murph, his name isn't really Daniel Fattail. I don't think that would be a particularly cruel middle name, I think, wouldn't it? But thanks everybody for coming along to today's webinar. I know that certainly we discussed a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today in the workshop this morning, and I know quite a lot of people were in there. But today basically is for half an hour, 40 minutes or so. It's sort of an introduction really to something new that we're doing here at Trendsignal, where with Daniel, we're launching a live trading room using the Trendsignal charts, and today is really going to give you a bit of an idea, a flavour of what it's all about, what Danny does to trade, and so on. So just to go through, some of you weren't in the workshop this morning, I would suggest. So just like to ask similar sort of questions at the beginning just to get started before handing the reins over to Daniel, really. So, Danny, you've been using for Trendsignal a while. When did you join Trendsignal?
The product or the company?
Well, as a customer, really, because you joined as a customer, didn't you, originally?
Lifetime experiences.
Yes.
I actually came across Trendsignal in 2004. Which time I'd been trading for a couple of years beforehand, tried all sorts of different products out there, came across Trendsignal in your original offices. I actually spoke to Jerry at the time. I can't remember. I can remember what he told me. I won't repeat that now. He didn't give me the lottery numbers, but he did give me some decent advice, and obviously the product has stood the test of time for me. And obviously, over the past few years, I've also become involved in the product development side of things. So I have what I would say, with present company excluded, obviously, although secretly I do believe that I know more than you. I have a very solid understanding of everything that makes Trendsignal work.
Yeah, I mean, so some of the things, just so you know, I mean, Danny's say been an important cog of Trendsignal for some time, really, and he helped develop the latest change to the sniper code. He has helped us a lot with the scanner, and actually, really, a lot of it is very much down to his desire to, I guess, speed up his own analysis, really, because, at the moment you trade a lot of US stocks, don't you, and hacking your way through 500 US stocks a day is nothing more than suicidal, I would have thought. So I think Danny's assistance on that has been a great benefit to all of us, really. So as I say, I make reference to you trading some stocks. You trade mostly FX and stocks, don't you, Danny? And as a full-time trader now, really.
Yeah, I would say that's a fair appraisal. It's very comfortably divided up in terms of timing. We focus entirely on FX and FX-related products. By that, oil, gold. In the early part of the day, mainly because that's where the money is. And then obviously when we come around to the New York session, then the U.S. markets are there. As I said this morning in the workshop, the brief introduction there, do we trade UK stocks? Not really at the moment, but there's no reason why we can't offer opinion on that. The reason we trade US stocks is because it doesn't conflict with the prime time as far as FX is concerned. We don't have to look at all those charts in the morning. And when we come around to New York session, obviously, we're not really following FX at that time, so it's easy to focus on something else.
Okay, good. And obviously what you're looking to do with Trendsignal here, and what we're here to talk about today is Fattail. Now, Fattail is essentially a live trading room, everybody. Some of you, is anyone familiar with a live trading room? Has anyone actually been in one before? Essentially, a live trading room. You're going to be talking about this a lot, Danny, obviously. But really, what it is a forum, a way of calling trades live and giving people access to the trader's screen, sound bites, if you like, as traders are called, so that they can watch and learn and interact with professional traders in a live environment. And I have to say it's a great way of learning, and something that, in my opinion, it's not the easiest thing to do, to call live trades. It's something that does require a huge amount of confidence, and something that, I'll be honest, what you tend to find from a lot of live trading room presenters is smoke and mirrors. A lot of the time they tend to make it up as they go along, and not particularly clear on their entry points is something that I think is very clear. Danny has a very good skill of being able to call trades very succinctly, but be able to make money consistently as well. So in that, guys, he's very good as a live trading room presenter. I would argue that he's not the most entertaining person in the world.
Well, clearly you got part of that right and the rest of it entirely wrong, because compared to you, I am hilarious.
Well, that might be true. That might be true. But look, instead of me whittling on, this is really about Fat Tail today, and how Danny may be able to help you guys with your trading. So, Danny, why don't you take the floor and tell them a bit about what you're doing?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we kind of put this together very briefly. Adrian very kindly offered us this opportunity at the last minute to talk to you guys. So we've put together a few slides here. I don't want this to be, a long-winded presentation. I'm not here to pump you on the sales side of things here. All we want to do is go through a few slides, but what would make this very effective as far as getting the message across is if you fire away with the questions, because what we don't want is anyone to be not clear about what we do and have no misconceptions of what to expect. So whereas I guess a normal protocol for presentations would be, don't ask me any questions, ask them at the end, and I'll cherry pick the questions and answer the right ones. Not that Adrian would ever do that, but ask away the questions through the session. I will stop and start as we go through. There really aren't many slides, so if I go through the questions as we are seeing them, then obviously I can try and answer them at the point when you're asking. So let's just trawl through some of these slides. Let's see if I can not get this wrong. There we go. So just a few important points about what we are, and in relation to what you have in front of you already. Fat Tail is it's an independent service. It's a live streaming service. So by that kind of a TV style presentation, it's live video. We stream it on a service called Make TV. It gets broadcast on a daily basis in 2 different sessions, which we'll cover later. But whilst we're independent, we have, as we've already just mentioned, a very strong and long-standing relationship with Trendsignal, and we're intertwined in terms of the technology and the usage of it. And so the important thing here is I'm not going to turn around to you and say, okay, well you've got Trendsignal, but you need Signal Trend, you need all these different set of indicators, and you need to unlearn what you've learned and do things entirely different. We're not here to do that. Obviously, the guys at Trendsignal wouldn't put me in front of you if that was the case. All we do is do things our way. We use the product in similar ways that you do, but how we get to the decisions on the trade side is something different. As far as contradictory is concerned, obviously you're all users, owners of the product, so you've either had training or getting training. You've got Adrian, Jerry, the guys there coaching you on best policy. So if the guys there are telling you to, for argument's sake, sell euro, you're not going to hear us say buy euro. Obviously, if those guys are looking at a set of charts that are screaming sell and got snipers everywhere across the time frames, you're not going to come into our trading room and see us saying we're buying euro. We might not be in the short. We might see or be holding off and waiting for something else before we enter it, but we're not going to be contradicting what they are telling you. That again is important. There's no point in you having and receiving a whole set of information and having your product in front of you and then finding that we're telling you something entirely different. That just doesn't work. Anecdotal is something that we are not. We trade. We don't talk about it. We do talk about it, actually. That's a flat out lie. But when we say we're making a trade, we're making a trade. We don't give you the or I'm looking at going short here, long here, and then 2 days later say, that was a great short, wasn't it? This is where we got in. If you don't see us make the trade, we haven't made it. I don't speculate or offer empty words around that. What we say we do, you see the trade, it goes on, and you're going to have a look at some examples of recent trades from sessions, and also how we communicate that information to you. Just a couple of other points on this before we actually move on. There's no miracle to this. It isn't the holy grail. You've already got a product in Trendsignal that if you use it in a disciplined, consistent way, will deliver you results. What we are not saying here is it's a miracle solution just to turn up and good things happen. Good things will happen, but only by continuing to pursue the same approach that you're being taught. And so lastly on this, again, just to clear up any misunderstanding of how things are going to work, we see it as complementary. We provide analysis of the markets, and we're going to talk about how we actually drill down on a daily basis, but we see it as a complementary tool to both the training that you have at Trendsignal and also the product itself.
I guess.
So, we've got any questions on that?
I guess, Danny, if I may, that one thing I'd say is that what we teach here at Trendsignal is a lot of it is very much the rules-based approach. I think what Danny can very much add is the how we can use discretion to really help drill down onto a lot of the best results and the best trades, and filtering out some of those lesser ones. And of course, that's something that people learn with time and screen time. And of course, being able to learn that in a live environment will be for real benefit, I'd say.
Yeah. How do I see the questions, if there are any? There we go. 2 sessions. Unable to hear.
Shall I read a few of the questions out, Danny, and then you can go through them at this stage?
Yeah, go on. You go through it because
okay.
Yeah,
all right. Look.
The window's very
okay.
small. We'll just do a quick
yeah. Okay. Okay, so quite a few people are asking where you're based. I don't know if they want to come around for tea and coffee, but
yeah, I'm based in a room with a computer.
The answer is the UK, basically. Okay, so how many sessions? There's 2 sessions. I mean, Danny's going to be talking about it a bit later, probably, Alan. So let's not jump the gun on that one, if that's okay. How are trades delivered? People are asking about whether you can see the charts, whether things are emailed out. So can they hear you talking about it as well? I guess some people are not familiar with live trading rooms. How does that work?
Okay, well, let me, it strikes me a lot of these questions are things that going to be covered in the session, so I'll continue on at this point and we'll go through. I
think that's a good idea. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you crack on.
And in the meantime, you can tell me how I can see the questions properly, because at the moment it looks like I'm peering through a letterbox at them.
If you put your that section of the GoToWebinar console, if you just get the title part of it, click and drag it out to the screen, and then you can make it a lot bigger, like any floaty window.
Okay, got it.
Nice one. I'll leave you be.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean that's the basis of it, and again I want to make sure that people are understanding that it is complementary. What we do is different in terms of how we approach trading, but we're not here to tell you at this point that you need to unlearn what you've already been taught. So the basic principle of what we do is price. Price is the single most important factor on any chart. Nothing else matters other than what price is doing, where it is in relation to previous events. And by understanding that, it helps you to develop the edge. Now, it's a rather a broad-based statement that we make, and it would be difficult for me to cover in a huge amount of detail exactly what that entails, but through the course of a few slides here, a little bit of chart time, then I'll endeavor to show you some of the stuff that we look at. So, as you know, this is a common phrase, history repeats itself, and it's never more true than in markets. Patterns that play out on a daily basis happen time and time and again, and over a period of time in the market. I've been around for a long time trading. We see these things play out. So over a period of time, we've developed a very clear set of familiar price action events. So on a morning's basis, what I do is sit down for half an hour, going through chart by chart, and we look at 13 different pairs, and each one we build up a picture of what that chart is showing us. It can be various different things, and I'll show something now. I mean, Adrian will hate me for doing this, but it's important to understand what you see, and in doing this as well, I want you to understand that all I'm doing here is just showing you a very simple chart. So let me just flick over to 1 to 2. There we go. We got that. What have you got at the moment?
You can see the screen, Danny. Yep.
You got a chart on the screen at the moment?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So this is Euro. Obviously, ECB have just hit right now 7:45, 12:45 GMT, so unchanged on that. But there are simple elements to a chart that we look at. We look at things called climactic events. It's where the price in the market has dropped very sharply in pretty much a straight line. We see those events occur when the market has had a point of extreme buying or selling. They're good benchmarks that the market in the interim is not going to travel lower or higher. So they tend to line up pretty well with swing or sniper opportunities on the 4-hourly chart. We also see events where price becomes highly extended, and by that I mean we see a big gap between major moving averages. Now, what this does is it allows us to develop a dominant trend in the market, and we're going to talk about this later on. So once we've built up a bit of a profile of what we're looking for, we then just go straight to our trend signal charts and look for the opportunity. You guys are all well drilled on how to identify sniper trades. So we build up a picture of the trend, and then we go to our trend signal charts, starting with a daily chart, and we basically just drill down from daily down to as far as a 15-minute chart, and look for a sniper sell or buy opportunity that matches our trend. So let's just switch back onto the slides here. We'll go through one of these and then I will attempt to deal with a whole bunch of questions. Jumped up to, there we go. So there's 2 sessions a day. First one is at 8 GMT, start of London Open. Obviously it's a critical time of the day for FX traders. We go through till 9. We trade FX, metals. That's pretty much it. So also occasionally oil as well. In the New York session, which starts at 2 p.m. and goes through till 3 p.m., we're looking at the US indexes, so Dow, S&P, and the US stock components as well. When we're not trading, which it is very focused, and we'll talk about the timings as far as trades are concerned, but when we're not trading, we cover a whole range of educational content, and despite what Adrian says, some fairly irreverent stuff. It's all related to market today. When we broadcast, we're doing a forecast of the non-farm payroll. Yesterday we did a very insulting piece on Bill Dudley, the chairman of the Goldman Sachs Federal Reserve in New York. So there's a mix of content. We want to try and make it relevant, interesting, something different, and apart from everything else, we want to keep you away from the charts. So how it works, it's focused. Basically, if you don't want to listen to my thrilling dialogue on a daily basis, then within the first 15-20 minutes of the session, we're done as far as FX trading is concerned. We are in, and that's it. We make our trade. It's very much a set and forget scenario as well. Once the trade is on, we've got a stop target, and we don't need to look at it again. We only trade around those times, so 20 minutes in the morning, half an hour during New York. Otherwise, that's it. There's nothing else to look at. So you're not sitting there as you would do in traditional trading rooms waiting all day for some voice to come out of the ether and say, I'm thinking of buying here or selling here. We trade just those 2 segments. The rest of it is done, gone, as it says, see, do, leave.
And you generally run off slightly longer term charts, don't you, rather than sort of 5-minute, which is a traditional sort of live trading room type of chart, isn't it really, or 15-minute?
Yeah, I mean, we don't scalp. We never scalp. It's counterproductive. I challenge that it doesn't work. I don't know anyone who scalps successfully over the long term. It's also, as far as people who are on the receiving end of that information, it's impossible to follow.
They're too late into the trade, aren't they? That's often the problem, isn't it?
For argument's sake, I say sell. By the time you've heard it, if you're listening at the time, the market may have moved 5 points. I then say, okay, I've got out of this one. I made 10 points. Again, you're 5 points behind. You may make nothing, and I'm sitting there saying, I just made 10 points. We don't do it. The minimum trade that you would see on an FX trade would be 40, 45. Really, our averages are up in the triple-digit territory.
And what about duration of those trades, Danny?
It varies. I mean, we had a Euro-Kiwi trade that we were in and done in a day. We had a trade on sterling yesterday that was in and done in a matter of hours. On the flip side of that, we had a trade on Aussie-Kiwi that lasted multiple days. The simple thing of that, though, is we don't micromanage it. The trade goes on, and that's it. We've got a target. We won't go back and revise the target or sweat the detail. It ought to be something that is relatively laid back. It's a trade. We know the risk, we know the reward, and we leave it alone beyond that point.
Good.
So,
Sorry. Sorry for interrupting there, but I thought there was a couple of questions coming through, that's all.
yeah, that's all right. I mean, you just ruined the whole theme of everything and basically ruined the slides, but other than that, it's relevant. Let me have a look at some of the questions that we've got on here. It's a hard act to follow, Adrian, apparently. It seems unlikely. Do I explain the reasons for making the trade? That was you that typed that comment. George asks, do I explain the reasons? Yeah, we talk about the trend of the market, and that's essentially it. We look for a dominant trend on each pair, and then we look for an opportunity to enter. Trendsignal provides the finesse of the entry. But I'm not just sitting there going, buy this, sell that. We give a guide on each and every pair that we trade.
Okay, a few questions coming through then. So a couple of people asking about how many trades on average do you tend to do? Could you, a day, I suppose?
Varies. 2-3 FX trades a day, equally similar amount of stock trades. We will only trade gold, oil, or indexes once, and that's it. We don't go in and out the market with those. Again, we're trading 4 hourly time frame charts on FX. There aren't a lot of opportunities, but the prizes, if you like, are significant.
What about risk reward and any success rates? Have you got any info on that, or maybe that'll be something you'll talk about a bit later, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have a particular list of markets that you tend to trade off currencies, or is it sort of okay?
I do.
Okay.
You want them?
Well, I don't think you probably want to look at all of them, but I guess it's just probably the big crosses, I suppose, isn't it? Probably the obvious ones, I dare say.
Yeah, I mean, we trade $4 pairs, euro, sterling, Kiwi, and Aussie. 3 yen pairs, euro yen, sterling yen, dollar yen, and a bunch of cross pairs, euro Kiwi, Aussie Kiwi, dollar CAD, and what else? That's about it. Euro CAD as well. It's the same list every single day.
Okay, brilliant. Let's move on. What I'm trying to do is, if people are asking questions on the chat, I'm trying to type questions into those as well, but I'm trying to go with common questions to read out to you, so that's fine. Why don't you move on, Danny?
Yeah, okay. So that's essentially it. 20 minutes in each session is where the trading is. We want to encourage people to trade less, not more, be effective about when they trade. I see too many people personally who feel they need to be in the market all the time in order to make money, and it's just not true. You want to trade less. In general, there are some people who have ice water in their veins, and so don't suffer from emotion, but I would say in general people struggle emotionally, and the more you're in the market, the more you're trying to force the trades, the more likely that is to be a factor in your results. So that's why we go for a very short, sharp, and focused approach. So we've already covered that. Effectively, we build a picture of the dominant trend chart by chart. Then we look at Trendsignal to show the right opportunity to enter the market, and it isn't complicated. It is using the same logic you have, but as Adrian mentioned at the start, there is a discretionary element to it. It's my perspective of what makes a trend and what opportunities are the right ones to take. So just some brief examples of recent trades. This is Aussie Kiwi. You can look at this on your own chart. It was a 4-hourly chart, the 240 chart. We entered 12.18, got out 11.22. It was 96 points. Another one here, Euro Kiwi, in at 161.43, out at 60.72, straight after the RBNZ, or the Kiwi unemployment data came out. It dropped right into our target. Again, they're simple trades. You can recognize the difference, I guess, if you like, is we cherry pick them based on the trend. So we saw activity in Euro Kiwi before the session that showed us that this market was going to reverse. It was a trade that we wanted to take, and all we needed to do then is just wait for Trendsignal to flag the entry to tell us time to go. So let's just have a look at a few other questions here. Am I using Trendsignal primarily using Trendsignal to call the trades? Absolutely, yeah. We build up a picture of the trend, which then shows us, for argument's sake, we want to be long euro, and then we look for Trendsignal to show us where to enter. Trendsignal's moved more towards longer-term daily trades and away from shorter-term opportunities. I totally agree with that perspective. Short-term scalping the markets is, I don't believe, a strategy that will give you trading longevity. There is, the markets, particularly FX, have good trending conditions, particularly since we've come back from the summertime. It's less taxing on your brain or emotion. It allows you to enter a trade at a fixed point in the day, i.e., London Open, or around the New York Open, and then walk away from it. You don't need to micromanage it. You don't need to sit on the trade. You don't need to sweat the detail pip by pip. You just need to put the trade on and walk away. Price action, Steve, yes, that's principally it. It's just analysis of a chart to develop the trend. Time frames, Sean, 240 chart is the weapon of choice. Ideally, that's what I want to see. However, I am prepared to go down to a micro chart in order to find an entry point, and the entry points for me are the sniper conditions. Y13 in terms of, I assume that's pairs, Steve. I don't know. It's not a Fibonacci reference. It's just that's the number of pairs that we found. What else have we got?
You might want to scroll down a little bit.
I think we've already covered that.
If you scroll down, Danny, then you'll see that a lot of more recent sort of questions coming through. So people are asking about how do you pick your targets, why do you use different time frames for entry, do you help people with psychology, that sort of thing. So a couple of questions like that would be quite good.
I'll do those then. Why do we use different time frames? Because again, for argument's sake, we've got an opportunity. We look at the euro, and as far as my assessment is concerned, the euro is offering a long entry. I go to the Trendsignal charts, and the 4-hourly time frame doesn't show me long. It's not ready yet. So then I drill down until I find something that is ready, and that gives me my my entry. But basically, we build the picture from a 4-hourly time frame, and then we look for a sniper circle wherever that may lie, either 4-hourly, 60, 30, 50. It's just a question of drilling down through the charts. So Mike, yes, I would enter on a 15-minute sniper if my 4-hourly chart showed me that was the right direction that I should be trading in. Risk management, yeah. Psychology, yeah. We do all of that. We have a segment on Friday, maybe actually today. It depends on timings of it. I like to spend time on that. I have my own perspective of it. I appreciate that people generally struggle with exactly the same issues, which is either over trading, under trading in terms of being completely frozen and suffering from analysis paralysis. So you overanalyze the chart. You read CNBC, Daily FX, Forex Factory, every forum out there, an article telling you to go long, go short. All these people out there selling miracle, going to make you a billionaire by tomorrow morning, better looking by Saturday. All of that stuff it's nonsense really, but what it does do is it confuses the brain sufficiently that you either feel you need to be in the market all the time or that you just can't take a trade. So, you know, we do focus on the discipline required to make this work for you. As far as stocks are concerned, you don't need anything. You don't need live data. We're trading off you know, end-of-day scenarios as far as stocks are concerned. So it's yesterday's setup that we're bringing into the market open. So you know, basically it's the close of market yesterday. You know, when we come into market open in the morning, it's irrelevant as to how the price is moving during the day. So you don't need live US data. You effectively have all the tools already within the confines of the enzyme product. Do I think trend signal indicators alone are not enough to trade successfully? No, I think I've made the point to absolutely the contrary of that. From the very outset, the first slide I put up was that it was important to understand that you already have what you need. Stock targets vary. It depends really. There's some. I'll show you a stock chart here. This is yeah, the stocks are slightly different to. Actually, I'm not showing you stock charts. Am I? Hang on. There we are. I'm going to assume that you're looking at a chart at the moment. I mean, this is just a random pick here. SYY. As far as this is concerned, if we see the price cross the median line quickly, so if it crosses down below there within 3 candles on a 4-hourly chart, we see that as likely to trade further. If it takes longer than 3 candles to get to the median line, then we see it as a very shallow move. So we vary. Stock targets can be 2%, but then in a scenario where crosses quickly, we see a lot of momentum in that market, and it's what we call a sweet spot trade. We expect a much bigger target, 5%. We've taken 14, 20% on some trades before. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation and then.
I think a really good question from Hal here. Can Danny, spelled D-A-N-I, which I think is a feminine spelling, but probably fair. Can Danny run through a typical example of how trades are called and delivered to members? Is that okay?
Is this really your contribution to the?
Yes, it is. Yes, I know.
It's Nick, very cheap and
Very
fantastic.
surplus to requirements here, but anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard that many times in your life, in various areas.
Mostly when I get
Okay.
home. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, quite. Okay, so it is. Let's just carry on with the presentation. There's not many more slides to cover here. It isn't a one-size-fits-all. There are you know, again, to use a horrible phrase, many ways to skin a cat. There are many ways to trade with Trendsignal. You are taught one way. We have a different way of doing it. The end results are that we produce consistent winning trades. So all we're doing is offering a different perspective. What we do, and it's something that as owners of the product you should want, is we trade it live. You should want to know that the product that you have purchased and used can be traded in a real-time environment, and that's what we specialize in. We don't scalp. It's not in our interest. I don't see it as an effective trading method, and it is useless to you as users. You know exactly when we're going to trade because we only trade at certain times of the day. Results-wise, again, you know, it's not anecdotal. We don't make this stuff up. It is, you know, it is what it is. We post consistent winning trades. We make the trades live in real time, and the results accordingly are real and genuine. Do we lose? Unfortunately. I still to this day say that I am the only person in the trading industry who actually has losing trades. I lose, but I win more than I lose. So just you know, a couple of other things on points of reference here. I'll show you in a moment what the trading room looks like as far as how it's delivered. As a typical trade, we give analysis, i.e., you know, we'll say, this is how I see the chart, this is why I see it like this, and then I'll say, this is the opportunity we're looking for. We then go to a trend signal chart and find it. If it's there, then we'll trade it. If it isn't, then we won't. You know, similar to, I guess, a good example of that recently has been dollar CAD. In my analysis, I see or saw dollar CAD as a short market, a market that was likely to turn south. But when I go to my trend signal charts, they're saying to me, there isn't a short here. There's not an opportunity to sell this. So that allows me then to sit back and wait for that opportunity to materialize. And you know, as yet, it's not quite there. So it's give and take in that respect. So what we're not is we're not a traditional trading room. I've in my time been in as many that you may or may not have been in. They are long-winded, like this presentation, and somewhat confusing. You can sit there for 5 hours a day waiting for a trade that may or may not materialize, at which point you've gone to walk the dog, make a cup of tea, come back and find that, you know, not only has there been trade made, but it's in and out and gone. We don't operate like that. We trade short, punchy window, and then we move on to you know, general market chatter. Why it will work for you is if you come with a fresh perspective, prepared to learn other information, build on the knowledge that you have, and you know, you want to understand a different way of looking at the charts, then you know, absolutely this should work. This should give you a different thread, string to your bow. That was the word I was looking for. Why or how it wouldn't work for you is if you want to be in the market every 5 minutes. You want to be trading this, that, and the other. You want to trade a 5-minute chart. You have trade ITIS and can't help but trade all the time long, this isn't for you. I can tell you straight up. If what we do on bigger time frames isn't enough, then we won't be able to give you those answers. And what you should bring to the room itself is nothing, just what you've got already. So let me just briefly show you what the trading room is like, and then I'll again dive through the questions as much as we've got left on here. So we have, there we go, should see it there. So it's straightforward. Big black box in the corner, that's the broadcast, the live stream. It's where you see us broadcasting. You'll see charts and whatever else we throw out, video, music, slides, presentations, all sorts of different stuff. Underneath we get open trades, so as soon as a trade is open, not only do you hear it from me, you'll also see the trade appear in the box. So if you can't bear to listen to my voice on a daily basis, you can just have the audio off, waiting for the trades, but I can't imagine that would be the case. And then down the page, obviously we have trades that have been and gone, and as soon as the trade closes, then it gets it drops into the lower section of the chart. Simple.
And just to be clear, these are all trades that you've taken as well, aren't they? So these are from your actual account, isn't that right?
Indeed. Everything we trade live there and then. Okay? So let me see what we've got question-wise. Merv, win-loss 65. It's a nonsense statistic that win-loss is a significant part of trading success. To a degree, you can have a very low win-loss ratio but still make a lot of money. It is a number that is bandied around by I guess organizations that don't really understand what it makes to be a successful trader. What is recommended overall time to sit in a chat room and achieve the best result? That one, Sadiq, is relatively straightforward. Again, 20 minutes from 8 o'clock till 8:20 is when we trade FX. We don't trade it after that. And the New York session, then it's around the New York Open is when you would see the trades. We're only open for an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon. When did I start to trade live? 2001. Mark, do I have a set amount per pip I trade? Yeah, I trade appropriate for account size. It depends really on your account. There isn't a set size that you would need to do. It's whatever is appropriate for your account risk. Last month, 612. Pravin.
Might be helpful to read the question. That 612 pips. I think you're talking about there, isn't it?
That's
that you made last month.
You're better at this. I'm too busy looking at charts on a daily basis.
Yeah. Compliment from Danny. Would you believe it? As backhanded as it was. Yeah, I know.
Do I have a monthly target? No. Sean asks, do you have a monthly pip target? No. I think that sets a ugly mental status to start out the month. As soon as you start to set yourself a target to achieve, when you get into the last part of the month, you are putting undue pressure on yourself to trade in order to achieve that target, and vice versa. If you set yourself a 500-point target for the month and halfway through you'd got to that, does that mean that you stop trading? Trendsignal works on closing candles, which would be at 10. Because it will have already turned by the time that we are looking at that opportunity. I'm not waiting for the 10 o'clock. We've already seen it turn on the previous candle. Yeah, it's not £612,000. Well, it depends how much you trade, really. What else have we got then?
There's a few questions of people asking about where they can trade US stocks and things. I think that there's most brokers offer US stocks in some form, guys, really. I think that the key thing to be careful of is the size of the trades that you're placing with stocks, some of them with big prices. If you're doing spread betting, say £1 a point, can lead to quite big size. So we'll just be very careful of that. There are some brokers that do allow you to trade less than £1 a point. So just have a look into the various brokers that are out there. And if you need assistance, you can always speak to Zane or Gurpal in the office, because there are some places where you can trade from 10p. So if you're not familiar with US stocks, it might be a good way of having a look at that. So that would be useful. Don has got a question about profitability to date. I think what Danny does is he's not necessarily, he can't really, all he can do is show you the trades that he does. And if you look on the facttail.tv website, then you'll see a full outline of all his trades since he launched a few months ago, since soft launch, isn't it, Danny?
Yeah, I think also it's difficult to say that, isn't it? What my profitability means is it's kind of irrelevant to someone else unless you trade exactly the same size. You can calculate your own profitability based on the number of points and obviously your trade size. There's a couple of others on that. So do I protect profits with a trailing stop? Nope, I don't. I don't. Oh, you've already answered that. How did you know?
Not me.
Yeah, we don't. I don't do that because I feel that unduly stresses the trade. As far as I'm concerned, I take the trade on the basis that I know what my risk is and what my reward is, and then I don't touch it until it comes around. Sometimes we've had trades that have gone within half a dozen points of a stop and turned around and ended up going wildly in favor. So I don't believe in trading stops at all now.
Okay, we've got a few questions coming about how people can join and things like that. So from what date would we be able to join the live trading room or the trading room? Pretty much from now, isn't it? Because Danny's been running it for some time on a very sort of soft launch basis, and it's only really today that we've wanted to start introducing it to Trendsignal customers. If it is something you would like to subscribe to, there is a cost for it. Sadly, Danny can't give up his time for free, I'm afraid. More's the pity. But if you would like to subscribe, for the first month, it's 30 quid, well, plus VAT, basically, 30 quid plus VAT for the first month, and then thereafter it's 60 quid plus VAT. We've tried to keep the prices at a good modest price point, really, for obvious reasons. You're already Trendsignal customers, so we want to make it a good entry level for everybody, and then that effectively, well, it's pretty good value, I think you'd have to say, for quite a lot of well, I think in the last 3 months, Danny's up about 20 grand from his trading from live trades that are called. So it should be, hopefully, if that continues, should be a very good way of getting a lot of that that information. If you would like to subscribe, I have posted the PayPal link in there. As much as I loathe PayPal, it's quite a convenient way of doing it. And there's also an exit survey after this webinar. So if you want to complete the exit survey, if anyone would like to subscribe, just type the yes, click the yes button in the exit survey. And that way one of the boys will get a PayPal link out to you if you would like to do it from there. Okay. 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 Yes, you're right, Ross. I think I think standard live trading rooms about $250 a month, aren't they, Danny?
Yeah, at least that. Just a couple of questions that missed. Anthony asked, do we document the trades? The trades, whether you're there or not at the time, are permanently displayed on the in the trading room. So once we've made a trade, it remains on there until it's either stopped or hit target. And once it has, it drops down into our history section. So if you miss it at the time and walk in, you can still see the trade. If it's still at the same price or better, then you can enter it. If it's already gone, then we always advise people to leave it alone and wait for the next one. What else? Fattail TV, yep.
So that's fattail.tv if you want to have a look at the website.
That's it,
guys.
yeah.
I think there's pretty much all the questions gone through there, really. Danny is the main trader of the room, Alan, but obviously from a support perspective, we're all here from Trendsignal anyway. Is there a limit to the number of people who can join? No, I don't think so. What does .tv mean? It's a website domain, Steve, so fattail.tv is instead of .com. Okay.
Yeah, it's because it's a TV style service, not that we're based in Tuvalu.
Aren't you? Okay, good. Well, shall we call it an end there? If you subscribe today, Anthony, we'll try and get you plugged into the next session. So if you subscribe as quickly as possible, if you want to, then your session will be starting in about half an hour, won't it, Danny? So we'll try and get you all set up and your permissions into the Trendsignal website done straight away. So potentially you could be in for the the 150 start.
I'm just looking at that. It appears from the comments here that you are something of a miserable, you know what I want to say. I'm probably not allowed to say it. So that's it. Thank you, Alan. That's exactly what I wanted to say. I like Alan a lot.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. Well, look, if anyone wants to subscribe, there is the PayPal link, and equally we can send through the links to anyone that does want to do it. But otherwise, personally, I'd like to thank Danny for coming in today. Hopefully, it's been of interest to you and will prove to be of great interest in the future. So, thanks very much, Danny. If there's any more questions, we'll ask you, and we'll, hopefully, there'll be some new subscribers in your room, Danny. So, thanks very much indeed.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. See you another time. Thanks.
Bye-bye.